Hello viewers, welcome back. So in today's video we are going to learn how to draft a basic pencil skirt. The measurements needed are your waist round measurements, hip round measurements, your waist to hip, and your full length. So let's get started. The first thing you will do is to mark from the top of your pattern paper ½ inch downwards. So let's mark. Also, you come to the side of your pattern paper, you mark in 1 inch, which will serve as your zip allowance. The next thing we'll do is to mark our vertical measurements. This first line will serve as my waistline. Then we'll mark our waist to hip line. In this video, I'll be using 9 inches. After that, we'll mark our full length. And always remember to add 1 inch for your hem allowance. So our full length in this video is 24 inches. I'll mark 24 inches plus 1 inch for my hemming allowance. After marking those lines, it's time to connect it together. After joining those lines, the next thing we'll be doing is to be marking our horizontal measurements. Remember that the horizontal measurements are the measurements around the body. Like on the waistline, we'll be marking your waist round. On your hip line here, you'll be placing your hip round. And on your hem line, you'll be putting your hip line minus 1 inch. The 1 inch you'll be minusing here is for your pegging to pencil the skirt. Let's mark it. On my waistline, I'll be marking my waist measurements divided by 4. That's 33 in this case divided by 4 inches is 8.25. And always remember to mark 1 inch sewing allowance. And on the hip line, I'll be marking my hip measurements divided by 4. So in this video, I'm using 44, and 44 divided by 4 is 11. 11, I'll put 1 inch for my sewing allowance. Then on the hem line, I'll be minusing 1 inch from the 11 inches I got, which is 10 inches. Then plus 1 inch for hem allowance. On your waistline, always remember to add your 1 inch for the darts. And after marking the 1 inch for that, we'll be connecting our measurements together. Using your curve ruler, your hip curve ruler, you connect from your waistline to your hip line. Then from your hip line, you connect it to your hem line. The next thing we'll be doing is to mark our darts. You mark out your darts. Remember, the dart was added for fittings. We added 1 inch to the waist measurement for fittings. If you add the dart on the skirt, it helps control the excess around the waist region and makes the skirt fitted. So how do we mark it? You start from your zip line here. At this point, you place the tip of your tape on it, then you take it to the waist measurement. Remember, you added 1 inch, so you include the 1 inch. So in this case, I have 9.25. So whatever you have there, you divide it by 2. So 9.25 divided by 2, I'll have 4.6, and I mark my 4.6 here. After marking that, the next thing you do is to mark 1/2 inch on both sides of the measurements you had. In this case, I had 4.6, so I'm going to place my 1/2 inch measurements on both sides. The next thing we'll be doing is to extend our dart lines. After marking these points now, you would like to extend your dart lines. Extending the dart lines, we have a standard measurement for it. The front dart is 3.5 inches, so you mark 3.5 inches down. That's the standard. Then for your back dart, you'll be marking 5 inches downwards. After marking those points, the next thing you would like to do, which is very necessary, is to mark exactly what you had in between your dart on your waistline. You mark the same where you marked your 5 inches for the back dart. Why? To have a straight line. If you don't mark it and you just rule your line, you might end up not having a straight line. So let's rule our lines. After drawing that line, you connect the 1/2 inch you placed on both sides. You connect it like so. Then you also connect the one for the front dart. So after all those markings, this is what your pencil skirt will look like. After connecting those lines, at the end, this is what your pencil skirt will look like. This is what it will look like. If you did the right thing, this is what your final look will be like. So the next thing we'll be doing is to cut our pencil skirts. So we'll be cutting it out. This is our pencil skirt. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. I really appreciate for always being here on this channel. Thank you so much. We'll be in the comment section. Drop your comments. We'll be answering questions. Thank you for being part of this tutorial.